welcome to Live with Ms. Steph. Hi, I'm Ms. Steph, Stephanie E. Farmer, the founder and executive director of Triple F Empowerment Inc., former laboratory scientist turned after school director, and then turned nonprofit founder. Y'all, I just want to come on here very quickly to, first of all, touch base because we promised, right? I promised y'all that I would be doing VEDA, and today is day 12. Today is April 12th, 2025. We are rolling right through the month of April. I hope that you've been enjoying this content, that it's been useful to you. And I just want to touch base and check in about on a few things. First of all, we just had the last Saturday Science Club of April. Okay, we will have Saturday Science Club again in May, but we just had the last one of April. Next week, this coming Saturday, April 19th, we will be at the St. Nicholas Park Oval over on St. Nicholas Avenue and where in 135th Street, where those two streets meet. There is a park for those of you who might not know, and we will be participating in an event called Hopping Around Harlem that is organized by our new friends over at Rise Collective, the Rise Collective Harlem. So yeah, super excited about that event. We will be doing our famous, and at this point I do think it's famous. At this point I do think it's okay for me to say that, famous science fun table featuring our slime. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing on April 26th. We will all be resting and relaxing in a location of our choice. Translation, there's no program that day. And I am glad to start a work slash an administrative week this coming week. There are no, if you were not aware, but by now hopefully all of my know that we getting some sound. Anyways, I'm going to just keep going. We are on a break. Department of Education over here in New York City. The DOE schools are on spring break. And so we will not have any of the traveling science teacher classes this week. Like I said, you should know that I'm a pretty organized person, and so I've been telling folks that we don't have class this coming week. And I will be doing some administrative duties. In particular, I'm looking forward to scheduling and testing and working on our summer science club activities. So planning those activities, I like to plan summer science club in quite a bit of detail. I've already released, for those of you who are interested in signing your child up for the 5-week summer STEAM immersion experience that is our summer science club. Please, please, please go ahead and get your young person registered now. I just talked to someone letting me know that there are 2 spots that will shortly not be available because they are going to be registering their child, and they have a friend that's bringing their child is going to return for what would be a 3rd year, that particular child. And so we're super excited about that summer 2025. It is a $700 value for $425 per week. And sometimes folks have questions about that and how all of that works. I can go into detail in another video for that if you're interested in. Go ahead and write in the comments below if you'd like more information about the details of Summer Science Club, how we run it. If you have specific questions about that program, that would be great. A great conversation starter. Again, please be respectful in the comments. And we can go ahead and move forward with that and get you some more information on that. For those of you looking towards being a part of filling in that gap, because like I said, it's a $700 a week value, but we charge families $425. And so as a nonprofit organization, we raise funds to meet the $275 gap. And our community comes alongside us every year and helps us make that happen. And so you are invited to contribute via our website at www.tfempowerment.org. So that's it for Saturday program, traveling science teacher, hopping around Harlem event, and summer science club. Now, in other news, or rather our tips, big tip for our big testing tip that I want you to think about during the break, if your child is on break, supporting them in their reading comprehension skills. You don't want to spend the whole break like studying. Like, that's not. So that's my first tip. Make sure they play and have fun over the break. That's the point of break for everybody, okay? Second tip for the break is if there is, say, like 1 or 2 skills, not content. Those are, or rather, not like facts, but skills that you see that your young person could maybe work on, that you're aware. Because remember, I already gave you tips on checking out and speaking with your young person's primary educator, their classroom educator. So you should already know, right? Because if you follow that tip, you know what they're missing, you know what they need, you know where they're at, right? So now, over break, if you want to take the time to work on 1 to 2 skills, okay? Whether it be practicing reading comprehension, practicing doing, for example, like reading tables or that type of thing, practicing communication, writing things, maybe working on stamina. Again, those are skills, right? And so hopefully you understand what I'm saying, the difference between a skill versus content versus facts, right? Like a fact is knowing the steps of the water cycle, knowing what evaporation is. That's a definition, right? That's a fact. Versus knowing how to read a science passage. That now is a skill. Okay, so just so that you're aware kind of what I mean by like skill versus content and / facts. Okay, so that's my second tip. And then my other tip is going to be about, and I'm going to reiterate a tip because I gave you this tip before. Not only do you want them to have fun over the break, but to have your young person doing some fine motor skills and having them have an artistic outlet, coloring. Miss Stephanie, I'm so serious. Have your child color, okay? And I'm not going to give you like a whole bunch of science behind it, but coloring and taking those like meta moments, as they call them, to relax, and taking some slow mornings. You know, if you don't have to get your child to break camp, because I acknowledge everybody's situation is not different, and that just because your child is off does not mean you're off. I mean, it's just like how summer camp works, right? Like, you're not necessarily off just because the kids are out. But that being said, if you can have some slow moments along with the coloring and fine motor exploratory moments, that is a tip that I would suggest. Okay? So those are our the news and the tips. I also want to share that I am open. Please put in the comments like what videos you would like to see next week. I have one video already, right? So we're going to talk about summer camp. We need to do that. A Q&A for summer camp. So please submit your questions so that I can be answering the things that you're most concerned about. And then also, I just had another family come to me. I have some slime videos that are like sped up and all that type of stuff. And but I did have a family talk to me today and say, can you help me? So we'll be one of the videos next week will be about slime, and one of the videos next week will be really focused on kind of going in a bit more detail on summer camp and the activities that the kids are going to be doing, and in particular, just the schedule, how I've designed the schedule and why I designed the schedule that way. And of course, if you're interested in having me design your summer camp, I do that. That is a framework. If your program is interested in that, we can have a conversation, and that would be, a consulting service, and I do provide that service. So yeah, we're 10 minutes in. We don't have to go any longer or shorter than we want to. All right. Today is April 12th, 2025. It is VEDA Day 12. I have been enjoying this coming on live and or releasing a video every day. It's been super cool. So if you have questions that you want me to answer in video format, please reach out. I will answer your questions. I think that this is a very interesting medium that helps us kind of work through certain things. And so I am open to continuing releasing more and more videos like after VEDA. So that's another conversation that we can have. If y'all really get into this and y'all really watch the videos and you submit your questions in time, we can talk about doing more videos a week. And we can also explore, maybe not all the videos need to be about Science Club, right? That's another thing that I'm considering doing, either starting a second channel or doing more with my podcast. Some of y'all might not know that I do have a podcast, but I have not released an episode in a really long time. And so if you have a desire to hear more about my story, and I got some encouragement today around speaking, and so I will actually be going to an event in May. May is a really busy month for me. I had a conversation with somebody this morning about just what May is going to look like, and so I am open to that. So all those things. Put kind and respectful questions and your concerns in the comments. I'm super excited about moving forward with VEDA Day 13 tomorrow. We'll see what tomorrow's video will be, because I also have, even though I'm a planner, not a bit of a planner, I'm very much of a person who likes to plan things. I have been trying to allow this particular thing in my life to not be over planned. And so I'm open to you all helping me communicate, you all helping me choose what I will be communicating and sharing over the next couple of days, in particular, especially during the break, right? Because over the break, I won't be teaching. And so the content will look a bit different. All right, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. Have an absolutely wonderful day.